This is a multi-agency road traffic check that is part of Operation Impact, which is designed to tackle serious acquisitive crime, which is metal theft and doorstep crime, bogus callers, that sort of thing. We're on a site that's just off the A50. There are police cars that are going out looking for suspect vehicles and then bringing them onto the site. And then when they come onto the site, all the agencies concerned are from the council, so that's the Benefits Agency, guys, training standards and environmental crime officers are checking the vehicles, checking the loads, checking the paperwork and then taking any action. So they might be issuing fixed penalty tickets, they could be just recording the information for intelligence, and they could be making further inquiries. Police officers are doing similar checks as well, so anybody that's found with no insurance or no MOT, that sort of thing, they'll also be dealt with, and sometimes on these exercises vehicles can be seized and people have been arrested before. What we find is that if one agency is interested in somebody, it's usually the case that at least one other, if not more, are interested. So by doing this together, we're able to target our resources and catch the individuals out. We're looking at people who are calling on the elderly and the vulnerable to do building work and other repair work, and they're overcharging in some cases by several £1,000s. They might, for instance, look to do pressure washer drive that might be worth £100 and charge an old lady £1,000 for it. It's that sort of work that we're looking for.
We took part in 3 specific exercises last week. These involved going in on the back of search warrants that the police had applied for. We were going in specifically to look at council properties and to see if there was anything untoward going on in them. We also took part in an exercise involving the police, UK Border Agency, Environmental Health and ourselves, looking at takeaway establishments within the city. And from our point of view, the basis for this was to look at people who were in receipt of benefits but not declaring that they were actually working. And the third exercise that we took part in was what we call a truck stop, which is essentially where the police pull over vehicles that they're interested in, and we're also looking for again, people who are in receipt of benefits who may be working and not declaring. We were really pleased with how the operations went. First of all, from a publicity point of view, I think it's good for the public to know that agencies are working together, and this kind of exercise is going to become more and more prominent because I feel it's the way we have to go. My staff were able to establish contacts within other agencies and other departments, which means we're therefore able to share more data and more information, which means we should get more from our investigations in the future. In terms of actual results, we were looking specifically at housing tenancy fraud, so we were looking at goings on in council properties. We looked at 8 properties as part of this exercise, and out of those 8, 2 we were able to recover straight back to council stock already. This is really important because within this authority we've got a massive waiting list for council properties, and so any that we can get back into our stock to be able to give out to people who are in desperate need, that's always a good thing. So we got 2 back out of the 8 immediately, and there's another 2 that we're looking at and investigating further with regards to being able to recover those as well. Benefit fraud isn't a victimless crime. It's something that's bandied about quite frequently, but the fact is, if we weren't spending this money and paying this benefit money to people who aren't entitled to it, that money could be used elsewhere. For instance, if we talk about council tax benefit, this is something that's funded by the local authority. And if that money wasn't being used to fund the fraudsters in this case, it could be used on schools, roads, education, you name it. So people are losing out, and in our particular case, the taxpayers of Stoke-on-Trent are losing out because of the fraudsters.